return have lost its place. Why? It is not because of the things have changed. It was the same things that were happening then that is happening now. Even now, in a greater degree. But you know why they treat it lightly? They have lost watchfulness. They have lost vigilance. They have lost the ability for them to observe. Even when the Bible says, watch and pray. These things happening around them now makes no difference to them. One of our pastors, Pastor Bede, once used an illustration. I'm permitted to use that illustration also. In case somebody would be telling the Lord, praying to the Lord, telling the Lord, let there be a restoration. Now, somebody ought to have told himself, now this is the decision I want to make. When a woman, a pregnant woman, is approaching labor, before labor, do the child in the stomach kick? It kicks. Now, when labor is approaching, do the kick become frequent or lesser? It becomes frequent. At the point of labor, was it higher or lesser? It became highest. At the point of labor, the things that show that delivery is near becomes excess. Believers no longer have the understanding that these things that are happening in a greater degree right now are showing that the end is here with us. Nobody thinks that. Rather, people now discuss politics. People now discuss kingdom rising against kingdom, and they do not know that the end is near with them. People now discuss it as a matter of discussion, and they do not see it that these are the things that our Lord and personal Savior warned us about and told us even before we came. And these things are being fulfilled before our own eyes. Watchman, watch of the night. Where has your watchfulness gone to? The days when watchfulness is needed, where has it gone to? Rather, he is become engrossed. Rather, the one that has watched at the early aspects of life is now come down from the tower and he's now become engrossed in the cares of this life. He has not given himself to the cares of this life. There is no longer the faith that he early manifested in God. There's no longer that early faith that he experienced, that he had in God. Not that trust. That trust at the early beginning was no longer there, or is no longer there. There is no trust in God. Rather, he is engrossed in the thoughts on how do I make life go for me? How do I make life easy? How do I attend to the things of this life? And you know, the devil has capitalized on such. Capitalized on these things, and what does he do? The thief cometh not but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. Why he is busy running after attention to see that the things of life become settled? The devil is somewhere taking away the interests. Devil is somewhere removing the watchfulness. He is there pulling away the things that needs to point this individual to the things of life. The watchfulness is being lost. He no longer has an understanding that time is short. Brethren, tell me, this is a pure proof. How many of us with our children on the sick bed will even tell ourselves that the time is short? How many of us can do that? I'm just trying to point out something. This, everybody does this. Your child cannot be on the sick bed and you're thinking of rapture. True or false? It's true. You can't have your child on the sick bed and you are thinking of rapture. Your attention is on where? Is on the well-being of the child. So what does the devil do? He multiplies the cares of this life to remove the attention of believers from the shortness of time. Revelation chapter 12 verse 12. Revelation 12 verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. You will see the reason why they are rejoicing. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. Why? Because he knoweth that he hath but a what? A short time. Even devil understands he has a short time. So the only way he can deceive and remove believers from the proper mindset that they are to have is for them to lose focus on the shortness of time. Devil knows that time is short. The only way he can deceive and defeat believers is to remove their minds from the shortness of time, to remove them from the quality of being watchful. They still think that they have time. They think they have time. He does not consider anything. He thinks everything is happening under the face of the sun like that. There is no time for the thinking of Jesus. How many of us still walk on the street and the blast of the horn of a car, the honking of a car, bam, bam, how many of us will hear that? And what comes to our mind is, what if it was a rapture that took place? People no longer think that. You are walking on the streets and a trailer blasts its horn behind you. Do you ever ask yourself, what if what I had behind me was the blast of the trumpet? Where would I have been standing? This kind of watchfulness sets a man on the proper track. This kind of watchfulness, if we bring back and we ask the Lord to restore unto us watchfulness first. Watchfulness first that we had at the beginning, so that I may begin to watch myself, evaluating myself, putting myself side by side with the Word of God. If I would only come back to that level, child, I think I would be a better Christian. These ones that have lost watchfulness, they are planning for tomorrow, planning for years to come, without any iota of eternity in view. There is no thought of eternity in view. There is no thinking of eternity. In their minds and in their plans, there is no if Jesus tarries. They look forward to tomorrow, not asking, what about my next minute? Brothers and sisters, the choir sang, it could happen in a moment. What if we all go to bed tonight and now we could only wake up to the rapture? What happens? What place would we find ourselves? When we think of these things, we would judge ourselves, first of all, before we wait for the judgment that is to come. We would evaluate ourselves and tell ourselves the truth that, oh, with this thing in my life, I am going nowhere. With this thing in my life, I am going nowhere. With this virtue, with this vice, not a virtue now, with this negative quality that has been manifesting in me, I don't think I'm making it. We must evaluate ourselves. But because we had lost watchfulness, we live our lives anyhow. But at the beginning, it was not so now. At the beginning, we would not live our life anyhow. We lived our lives with the mind of pleasing the Lord that has called us. We were always watchful to see that we do not fall below standard. We were always watchful to see that we do not fall below his expectations for us. Because we have lost watchfulness, the Bible says, watch so that you do not fall into temptations. But today, we are falling into diverse temptations because we refuse to watch. What has brought you down to the state of being a nobody when you come before God? Was it not because you were not watchful? From this temptation to this one to this one, this one to this one. It says watch so that you do not fall into diverse temptations. But has there not been diverse temptations that has taken over us? Diverse temptations have been there because we lost watchfulness. When we lose watchfulness, there is no desire to make a difference as believers. The reason why nobody is interested in being a super believer, permit me to use that language, a super believer. You know by a super believer, nobody desires to become better today than he was yesterday, is simply because he has lost watchfulness. As long as he can pray like he prayed yesterday, it is okay for him. As long as he's in church that he was last week, it's okay for him. Where is the desire to improve and become better? He has lost watchfulness. He has lost watchfulness. So, there is no desire to make a difference as a believer in his environment. As long as the brethren still see him as a Christian. That is the level where we have placed ourselves. We have placed ourselves in a level where you get satisfaction, where somebody can still call you, brother, he's a super brother. Oh, sister, this brother can pray. This sister can pray. That is the level where he or she is. As long as people still reckon with him as a Christian, it is okay by that. There is no desire to make any difference. No watchfulness. It's lack of watchfulness that keeps you at the point that you become contented with what you have gotten. Lack of watchfulness makes you satisfied with your service of yesteryears. You did some things for the Lord last year. This year, you do not think about anything this year because you've not watched deep into the life to see that you've not done anything for the Lord. Lack of watchfulness. It makes the believer have the same speech with others outside. When you speak and an unbeliever speaks, what is the difference? You know why you don't know that there is no difference? You have not taken time to watch. You don't watch. There is nothing that you watch. You don't watch anything. You don't ask yourself, what is, this person goes to church, I go to church. But on a sincere note, what is the difference between the two of us? In speech, you are the same. In the marketplace, everybody points hand as everybody in this line as the same. Even when you are there. Why? You have lost watchfulness. You cannot make a difference. You speak like them. You dress like them. Though a Christian. Why is it that the people outside and the people in church are now the same? It is because of the people inside the church have not taken time to watch that my life is now the same thing with those outside. When he or she watches and recognizes these things, he would have the desire to become better than what's attainable outside. But nobody does this. Nobody has time to watch his life anymore because the reason is simple. He has lost sight. He has lost focus of the return of the master. When we lose watchfulness, manner of approach becomes a hard thing amongst believers. At the early level that you had as a Christian, was there no humility in the life? Was there no mind of, I would not say the things I would say before my pastor? Oh, how would I say this kind of thing before him? How would I speak with such arrogance? At the early level of conversion, you would not be in a hurry to answer anybody. But now, manner of approach, zero. Because the Christian thinks he has arrived. Brothers and sisters, we have arrived nowhere. We have arrived nowhere because where we are right now is not our destination. We have not reached where we are going to. So watchfulness is needed the more. Manner of approach amongst individuals that have lost watchfulness, zero. Though claiming to become born again, his association today is the same with when before he gave his life to Christ. What do we find attainable today? People that say they are born again, their friends are unbelievers. Those people that you would not have freely associated with, and you would not have anything join you together, even business. Today, are they not business partners? Today, are they not wives? Are they not husbands? Association with people that know not the Lord because of what? You do not take note that this and this are not the same. And because of there is no change in our associations and relationships with individuals that we related with before we gave our lives to Christ, we cannot readily witness to them. You are a Christian, but you do do not have the boldness to witness to somebody in evangelism because your life and his life is the same. There is nothing to show that you are a child of God. Your association with him is still the same. People cannot readily point a hand to know when you have changed because your relationship still remains the same. Your friends still remain your friends. So who will preach to who? There is no time for witnessing because he or she has not left his former associations. He cares less about things that happen around him. He cares less. There is no time for self-reflection. Because of everything can happen. When they happen, they mean nothing to him. These and many more. There are so many we can keep on talking. But for the sake of our time, you see, we had not even had time to come into the other session because as the Lord permits, the Lord brought this message into the hands of his servant. He will find the means of going ahead with it. But I believe this and many more made Apostle Paul ask the Galatian church. In Galatians chapter 3, verse 1 and verse 3. When Apostle Paul sat down to calculate and ask himself some serious questions, that these people, were they the same people that gave their lives to Christ some years past? If truly they are the same people, oh foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you? Permit me, the Lord may be asking, oh foolish Christians of today, oh watchmen of today, what has changed? Who has bewitched you unto losing your watchfulness? Who has bewitched you such that those things that made sense to you at the beginning, they are no longer there? Restoring unto them their lost portion. Except we see the need to become watchful. Except we see the need to return to the point of being watchful. Men and brethren, we will not. I am not saying we may now. I am not saying we may, but I mean we will. If we do not return to the point of being watchful, we will miss out on the hour of visitation. Because Jesus warned on it. He says, watch and pray, for you know not when the Son of Man will do what? Will come. So what if we continue in this lifestyle of not watching? Tell me we would know when he will come. Tell me we will prepare. We won't be prepared. The Bible says, blessed is that man whom when his Lord cometh will find him so doing. So doing what? So watching. When his Lord cometh, what will he be doing? He will be watching. Blessed is that man. When his Lord cometh, he will find him watching. If we do not return to the point of watchfulness, we will fall into diverse temptations. You fell into some temptations today because you are not watchful of the life. If you do not become watchful and ask the Lord to bring you back into this attribute of being watchful, tomorrow you will fall into some other temptations. And as this continues, you will lose focus of heaven. As this continues, you will lose focus of the Master's return. In the children ministry where I grew up, we always sang, oh my brother, don't lose the vision of heaven. Put your eyes ever on him. Many precious ones, beloved ones, have lost their way, cause they lose the vision of him. When we lose vision of the Master's return, see, we lose vision of heaven. If Jesus makes no meaning to you right now, the imminent return of Jesus makes no meaning to you. They sang in the song, it could happen in a moment, and you did not feel, there was no excitement in the heart. Child, there was no desire in the heart for you to make things right. Please, what is in the heart? What is in the life? Where has the watchfulness gone to? We must go back, having considered the first, and now ask yourself some questions before you rise to pray. Where do you stand? Where do I stand? Where is the watchfulness in the life? And what is happening to us? Let's rise as talk to God in prayers. Where we read in Revelation 3 verse 2, gave to us an exhortation. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain. I am sure that there are things which remain that are ready to die. Now, would you lose watch and allow them to die? Strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. For I have not found your works perfect before God. This is God speaking. He has not found our works perfect before him. Restoring unto them their lost portion. Somebody should not say he only spoke to Christians. What about you that you are not yet a Christian? Can this not be a time of new beginning? Yes, the Lord is saying, I will restore. He is ready to restore. God is ready to restore. God is ready to restore. What have you lost and what are you in need of restoration for?